Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I am here on this Saturday evening with 90 Day Oy Vey Top 10 Last Resort Moments. And of course, I had to throw some tea in here. So, first of all, I would like to say congratulations to Papillion Purple in my comments. You got a job. Today's a great day for you. Congratulations. Hello, Mary Beth, and my trusty moderator, Menopausal Queen. Hi, Natalie. I see someone else that was in here that is new here. Here for their first live. I'm trying to scroll up, but of course, I always have technical difficulties. Um, I can't see the name because it's scrolled all the way up, but I know I seen in here that someone is new here. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Silly Shally. I hope you guys can stay up. Hi, Rosanna. I'm old too. I'm sorry I go live so late, but I've had a really great day today. As you guys can see, I'm wearing my New York Yankee shirt because my hubby and I went to a Yankees game today. And I would like to apologize to all of my Wisconsin and Milwaukee people in advance, but we smacked the shit out of your baseball team today. And I'm surprised I have any voice. Hi, Joslo. Uh, it was a game, you guys. Okay, for you baseball fans, just picture this: bottom of the first three Yankee hitters on the first pitch each hit a home run. I thought the stadium was going to explode. Then the fourth pitcher, after about three or four pitches, hit a home run. The Yankees did a franchise record of 9 home runs in one game. We smacked the shit out of the Brewers 20-9. And it was a great fucking game. It was exciting AF. And like I said, I'm surprised I have any voice. So, it's been a long time since I've been to a Yankees game. I haven't been to a Yankees game. Hi, Amy. Thank you for joining me. Um, I haven't been to a Yankees game since Yankee Stadium was the old Yankee Stadium. I used to work for a real estate paralegal many moons ago, and the title company that we use for all of our transactions, he used to give me Yankee tickets in the old Yankee Stadium all the way up in the bleachers. While my hubby got these tickets from a attorney contact that he has through work. They were basically behind the Yankee dugout. I was about 14 rows up. It was the greatest fucking seat and the most exciting game. Hi, Marissa. So this was my first time at the new stadium, and it was a great fucking game. And I used to do all this stuff when I was young. I used to go out to baseball games. I used to go to the clubs. But as you get older, you'd rather stay home and watch baseball games on your couch and smoke a joint. I'm sure you guys feel me. So I just have another brief story I want to tell you guys before I jump into my video. So today was a great day, but it was also a wacky day because not only do I cover reality TV on YouTube, I witness reality TV in real life. So I run into Starbucks because I need the caffeine boost. And I walk in there and there's, two people online and I'm like, okay, cool. So the young girl behind the counter. Now, mind you, I cannot see the person standing in front of her. I only see the back of her. The young girl behind the counter asked the young lady that she was serving, "Are you okay?" And she was with a guy. So the guy was like, "What do you mean? Are you implying that she's not safe with me? Like, that's fucked up. Everywhere we go, people imply that she's not safe with me, but I'm the one that's like her bodyguard." So I'm standing there and I'm trying to process everything that's going on. I mean, mind you, I just wanted to walk in for a frap. So I'm trying to process what's going on. And she's handing the young girl behind the counter $100 bill that looks like they just printed 20 minutes ago. Okay, I'm going to be dead up on this. That $100 bill looks so fake to me, but the girl did the light check, the pen check, and she accepted it. Okay, so now I have an older white woman in front of me. So the person that the young girl is referring to turns around to look at the guy standing next to her, and I could see that she is flying on substances. Let's just put it that way, flying on substances. The guy was straight, but she was flying. Okay, so she turns around, she says whatever to the guy. The white lady in front of me sees her state and says she's asking you, are you okay because you're flying in public? And the girl turned around and said, what do you mean? I'm not flying. I'm perfectly fine. The white lady turns around and says, listen, honey, I spent half of the 80s high. Don't tell me that you're not flying. And I'm standing there trying to process everything that's going on in front of me. And all I could think is, I just want to fucking frap. Like, are you kidding me? Is this happening in front of me? Telling my bestie later about this, she said I should have went live, but I wasn't even thinking about that. I was trying to process all of this in front of me. So the girl who was flying on substances took offense that the white lady called her out, and she started screaming in the Starbucks, I have stage 3 cancer. I am so offended that you would say that I'm flying on substances. I have stage 3 cancer. The guy standing in front of her like a bodyguard, he's like, shut up, just go and get your coffee. Just go and get your coffee. Shut up. And I decided that it wasn't worth the frap, and I left. So we have reality TV developing in front of me, and I am like, okay. YouTube, my husband is a huge Mets fan. My husband actually has a 14-karat gold Mets charm. Okay. I have been to Citi Field more times than I can count. I've been to Shea Stadium more times than I can count. My father was a huge Mets fan. So I'm sorry, but I watch more Mets games than I do Yankee games. But I'm always going to like the Yankees. I don't know. So anyway, that was my day today. And not only do I talk about reality TV on YouTube, I witnessed it right in front of me in Starbucks. Sherry, this is why I don't leave the house. Okay, I'd rather have everything delivered. I only go within a 5-block radius of my house, actually, because, I live in New York, so everything is within a 5-block radius. I don't deal with people, okay, like in the outside world. So today was too funny. Today was too funny. And I just want to do a lighthearted top 10 last resort moments video. And then we're going to get into some tea that isn't so lighthearted. I just want to let you guys know that I was putting Michael in this video as like a positive thing. And then I decided, let me go see what's going on with his annulment/divorce. Stay tuned for that. Okay. Even if you fall asleep, make sure tomorrow you watch the replay and get to the section about Michael and Amangela's annulment/divorce, because there's movement in the courts. Okay. So let's get into this. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I am so happy. Okay. So top 10 moments, 90 Day Fiance, the last resort. First, and now these aren't in any particular order. Okay. First, Benny calling Ari a liar, episode 1. That was some intense shit, wasn't it? Thinking back to episode 1 in that first group therapy session, and Ari talking about how Benny cheated, and that's why she took away his social media, and he just turned around and called her a fucking liar in front of everybody. That was so intense. Okay, so that's the first moment that stood out to me in this crazy ass train wreck of a season of Last Resort. Secondly, Jazzy calling her friend in air quotes, her friend Matt on episode 2. Okay, so this was our first evidence that production, Matt Sharp Entertainment, Jasmine, and Matt were all in cahoots, okay? Because Matt was already being weaved into the storyline. Episode 2, when Jasmine called him crying hysterical that she didn't want to be at the resort anymore because Gino didn't want to sleep in the same bed with her. I don't know. They were having an argument and she ran out and she called Matt. This was episode 2. Okay, moving on. This is going to be a classic forever and ever. You know that I know you guys know that. Okay? Stacy, I want to be free. Crying with no tears. This scene was fucking hysterical. Stacy and Florian as a whole were hysterical on Last Resort. Okay? I mean, Stacy entertaining AF, Florian with his one-liners, and Florian was very involved, okay, in Gino and Jasmine's relationship. You know, he had his opinions. For someone who didn't like therapy, he just went right in. Thank you so much, Faith. Puff, puff, pass, pass. We know what time it is. And if you don't like the fact that I smoke pot, this may be the wrong channel for you. Just saying. So, moving on. We have Natalie. Take me to Vegas now. That is another classic line that is going to last forever and ever in 90 Day Franchise. Along with her, I do not want to be on antidepressants. And Mike is like, who? What? What are you saying? Antidepressants. Antidepressants. Natalie has quite a few of the classic lines in the 90 Day Franchise. So this was another classic scene, okay? She flipping the fuck out because Josh invited Sophie to Vegas and not her. So, following up on that scene, we have Jazzy versus Natalie. You may be crazy, but I am fucking crazier. Okay? So, Natalie was throwing a fit and she decided to throw a glass at Sophie's feet, which landed next to Jasmine because Jasmine was sitting next to Sophie. So Jasmine chases Natalie outside and she starts yelling at her, okay, don't mess with me. I am crazier than you. And Florian gets in between them and it was just a really crazy, hot mess, hot train wreck mess express. Okay. So moving on, Julia dancing on the bar and Brandon's reaction. Everyone could see your pussy. Wow. Now I agree with I think it was Reba on Between the Sheets for this episode where she said that Brandon ruined his chances of getting some that night because if he just would have went with it and definitely both of them would have gotten horny and he would have probably most likely got some that night, but instead of going with it he just shut it down and made her feel like shit. So yeah, that was another good scene. Now, speaking of Brandon and Julia, Brandon telling his parents about Julia cheating 5 years ago with her ex-boyfriend in Russia and then running out of the room. That was classic. I mean, the look on Betty and Ron's faces, they were like, holy shit, are you kidding me? So that was another classic one. Then we have every time Julia and Jazzy kissed, let me tell you, Julia and Jazzy got more action with each other than Julia did with Brandon and Jazzy did with Gino throughout this whole Last Resort. Okay? So every time they kissed, Jazzy calling her friend Matt again in front of Stacy and Julia this time. So, this was all a way to weave in the fact that, and I'm going to stand by this, Jasmine was seeing Matt before Last Resort. Okay. She was having some type of affair with him. This is all in my opinion. Whether it didn't get physical until once she got home, or whether it was physical before they went to the last resort, she definitely had a connection with him, and therefore she was having an affair, whether it be emotional, physical, or both. This is purely my opinion, okay? Not fact, my opinion, because we see how comfortable she was with Matt, okay? Who did she call crying? Second episode. And not her cousin-in-law Michelle, who's her best buddy. I mean, she could have easily called Michelle. No, she called Matt. I find that very interesting. I mean, it would have been a great storyline. Her calling cousin-in-law Michelle, asking her for advice, and Michelle, basically talking bad about Gino. That would have been a great storyline, but no, she called Matt. Why? Because the producers, in my opinion, knew what was going on, and this was their way of weaving him into the storyline. Okay, so we saw how comfortable and giggly and glowy and smiley she was with Matt, and we're supposed to believe that nothing went on. So she introduces him to Stacy and Julia, and then as we know, she calls him with Gino, and they have that whole awkward conversation. That is not on my list of top 10 moments, but Gino versus Florian, their fight in the season finale. I mean, these two were buddies the whole season. Even though Florian would piss Gino off every time he would say, "Why don't you just fuck her? Why don't you just fuck her, Gino? Just fuck her, Gino." And that is what ultimately pissed him off in the season finale. And I think alcohol had a lot to do with it, of course. And before you know it, him and Florian are getting ready to fist fight. And it's like Rob said, you would have never saw that coming. But Florian said on Between the Sheets that Gino came to him that night, was like, "My brother, I don't want to fight with you." So, yeah, those are my top 10 moments for Last Resort this season. Monday is going to be part 1 of the tell-all, and I just want to throw out a warning out there, okay? If you're listening to me and you don't like the Mean Girl Mary, you could stop watching me now. I'm going to get into my tea segment. And yes, I will be covering some of Jazzy's shenanigans on the interwebs. And I'm sorry, the mean girl streak may come out right now. So if that truly bothers you and you're watching me, click out now, watch the replay, fast forward to the Michael segment, and then just go. Just saying. Okay? So moving on. Shoes are going to be flying on part 1 of the tell-all. I put up the clip to my Instagram. Basically, Rob and Jasmine get into an argument because Rob insists that this was just Jasmine's way of having Matt the whole time. And he is absolutely right. So Jasmine tries to shame him that his marriage failed. Well, you know something? So did yours, Jazzy. And words were exchanged. He mocked her accent, which cracked me the fuck up. I'm sorry. I know I could be a mean girl, but that made me laugh when Rob mocked her accent. And Rob called her a whore. She got up, took off her shoe, and actually threw it at him. As I all reported so long ago, and I've been babbling about since I found that Reddit post with the person who was sitting within earshot of Gino after the tell-all filming. He went out to lunch with someone, and he was so excited about what happened at the tell-all that this person happened to hear everything and posted on Reddit. I screenshot it, and I've been babbling about it ever since. Now, you guys are going to see it actually happening on TV. Personally, I cannot fucking wait. And you know what else I personally cannot fucking wait for? I have a couple of interviews coming up that you guys are going to love. Actually, one interview, and I have a special guest for my part 1 recap. And then my part 2 recap of the tell-all, I'm going to have Lindsay and Tara. Okay? So, I'm going to keep you guys in suspense a little bit, but just keep an eye out for my content in the next couple of days. So, Even Dr. James is on the tell-all countdown. Now, Jazzy shenanigans. Okay, so these have been her posts for the past 48 hours. A little walk by the beach. She wants the baby to have Matt's eye color. Check out her cameos. And then today, she posts this. The fact that you were recently texting close friends of mine to continue no, let me read the one in the middle first. I'm sorry. I put them in order. I put them in the wrong order. So she says, go give your excuses to Satan in hell, where I wish you burn for an eternity. You wish harm upon my unborn baby and keep cursing an innocent baby for more than 12 hours for 2 consecutive days. I hope you catch a new type of herpes every time you do BJ to men for $500. Cheap as fuck, nasty knob. Then she goes on to say, the fact that you were recently texting close friends of mine to continue harassing me and threatening me is absolutely disgusting. Leave me and my baby alone. I never seen someone this obsessed with other people's lives. Then after she goes on this whole, it smells a little homophobic to me. I'm sorry. Maybe my sense of smell may be a little off. But she goes on this whole rant, and then next thing you know, she's going out for lavender ice cream. I think she is particularly triggered and unhinged today, and maybe somebody who's close to her should check in on her. I mean, just saying, even the bloggers who are all like pro Jasmine are like, ooh, Jazzy, what the hell? So I'm just saying, mean girl or not. But then her lawyer, Kelsey, jumps in comments on the interwebs to defend her. Of course. Why am I not surprised? So she says, pregnant whore was just the tip of the iceberg. That day she endured hours and hours of relentless verbal abuse, bullying, and harassment, not only towards her, but towards her unborn child, who was subjected to even more vile and disturbing insults. I sincerely hope every insult is aired so the public can witness the extent of the cruelty she endured during her high-risk pregnancy. I spoke to her that night. Her face was swollen from crying all day long. So her immigration attorney is jumping to her defense. And we all need to have compassion and kindness for Jasmine. So Rob took to his stories. Oh, sorry, guys. And he said today, I'll be honest, I'm not proud of the verbiage I used towards Jasmine. This is not an apology. I just have to do better for me and the standard I'm trying to live up to every day. Not everyone is comfortable with certain things, and to them, I'm sorry if I'm offensive. My ache for literalism, that's a tongue twister, and impartiality has gotten me into trouble plenty of times before. And checking myself can get thoroughly tested. And then he puts up 3 red heels. But I can't forget that people are watching, and it's bigger than whether or not I can care less about telling a terrible person about themselves. Strap in for this tell-all. I'm sure those who would dislike me will have those days. And at the end of it, at least God knows my heart. I just have to say, I am so tired of Jasmine playing the victim card. I cannot wait until Last Resort is off our screens. And I will not talk about her until she gives birth to the baby, because I personally am very sick of talking about Jasmine and the toxicness that surrounds her. But we need to give her kindness and compassion because she's so glowingly pregnant. Okay. Anyway, so let's move on to little positive things if we can here. We have Ari, her son Avi, playing with his cousin. Adorable. Ari has started this thing called she is writing on this thing called Substack. And I actually read the whole thing that she put up, and it was actually pretty interesting. I'm going to put the link in my description for you guys, but she's a really good writer, just saying. So now, while Jasmine doesn't have clothes that fit her anymore, it seems like Sophie has lost her clothes, and Darcy and Stacy have a billboard in Times Square. Why am I not surprised? So moving on, we have Florian, who works hard for his money. And E. Scott, guys. E. Scott is really mad at me. And I haven't even said anything really bad about him recently. But let me just share this with you guys, okay? He is really mad. And one of my wonderful followers sent this to me. And I just find this highly amusing because I don't even fucking talk about him. I announced his pregnancy. I mean, am I smoking too much of this funny stuff? Let me stop babbling and just share this.
So, I woke up this morning on this Felon Friday to this in my DM from one of my wonderful followers who decided to give me a heads up.
Birthday wishes. I only had 2 presents. 90-day, what was it, the reality trash page, you gotta go. Shabuti, you gotta go. Report those accounts. They do nothing but slander, stalk, 90-day cast members, make fun of them. We don't want that done. We don't want that done to our kids. We don't want that done to our friends, our family. That's not okay. You know, we gotta shut those pages down.
Damn, E. Scott, it sounds like you have issues. Just saying.
The next ones are going to be like Kibbles and Bits and Coco and there's 1 or 2 more. People send me the stuff. But I love having like this anti-keyboard warrior task force, and we just shut them down, man. Just shut them down.
Now, I would find this all very highly amusing if it wasn't for the fact that I don't talk about E. Scott. E. Scott is not the center of my page. I don't know what other pages do, but over here at Kiki and Kibitz, get the name right, E. Scott, I don't talk about him, but I did talk about his buddy Angela. And I just want to make it clear that the real reason why E. Scott wants Kibbles and Bits, aka me, banned is for his buddy Angela. So why don't you let her fight her own battles? Just saying, E. Scott. Just saying, buddy. And by the way, as a Brooklyn native, I don't claim you.
Report. The squeaky wheel gets the order.
Yeah. Fuck off, E. Scott. That's all I have to say. I mean, you're just fighting your buddy's battles. Angela fucking hates my guts. I am Kibbles and Bits to Angela. And that's the only reason why you have beef with me, because whatever. As a Brooklyn native, I don't fucking claim you, and just go away. Bye-bye, please. I agree with this statement. Yes, I do. So, moving on. My peace with Renee was short-lived. I really tried to show her compassion and kindness, and I told her the truth. I didn't lie. I'll let you guys pause and read these later. I'll basically give you the cliff notes. So she asked me if I have talked negatively about her and whether it was before or after the interview. And I told her yes. I told her about my Renee's ramblings and my Renee's rants, and that once again, I was glad that she unblocked me so I could give her the opportunity to tell her story. Okay. And it was purely in my opinion, okay, that she has mental health issues that she needs to seek help for. So she basically flipped out on me, questioned my faith. And you guys know how I talked about my mom in my last video, that she was schizophrenic, and watching Renee unravel as my interview kept going and going kind of reminded me of talking to my mom and how she would start unraveling during our conversations. So not only was I being very triggered by her, but it was just like a sense of like deja vu going on. So I tried to be compassionate with her. And this is where she really pissed me off. I'm just going to read this part. She said, and I wish your relative that you claim has mental illness the best, because it's sad to have a relative that completely throws them under the bus because they may think there's something wrong with them. Just because you don't understand somebody or you can't comprehend something doesn't mean they're mentally off. Have a good day too. And I replied to her, it is obvious you didn't listen to a word I said. The person I was referring to was my mother, who passed in 2007. Thank you, and please don't message me again. So Renee needs to stay the fuck out of my inbox. But that doesn't mean that I still don't have compassion for her, because 2 of her chickens died. Was it 2 of them? Yes, 2 of her hens died. She thinks it's the food she fed them. And while these pictures may be kind of graphic, and I'm going to keep going so you guys don't have to see that, I have compassion for her. Just saying. So now moving on to what I wanted to have as positive news. Michael living his life. Okay, playing soccer, just another Saturday living his life. I decided to look into his divorce / annulment proceedings going on. And I'm just going to give you the cliff notes. Okay, you guys. So basically on March 20th, Angela's attorney submitted the answers to, oh my goodness, let me get here. 143 requests or questions from Michael's legal team. Okay. Now I'm going to do my research because, like I said, this was like a last minute thing. I kind of logged onto the court site. So let me see what's going on so I can give you guys an update. And oh boy, do I have an update. So this is going to be one of many. I'm just going to give you the cliff notes of what I discovered. So, number 1, Angela denies that her and Michael engaged in sexual activity within the United States. Okay. There was requests for admission 1 through 6, and she basically denied all of them. Then we have request, let's see here, request 8 through 16. Well, 14, she denies 15, and 16, she admits all the stuff. Okay? Like I said, you guys, I'm going to go back, see if I can find the original filing, see what these questions were. So now for request for admission number 15, response, the petitioner, who is Angela, denies the matter set forth in this request. TLC Production created this product using snippets of other productions. I wonder what the hell they're talking about. So I'm going to keep doing research on this, but I'm just giving you guys the cliff notes of what I found. So, 17 through 20, she admits the matter set forth in this request. 21, she denies. 22, she says she has no knowledge of the information sought by this request. Basically, request for admission number 39, she denies. She says it was a TLC scripted scene, and the respondent, being Michael, did know it was a TLC scripted scene. So now moving on. Again, in number 39, she denies the matter. She says it was a TLC scripted scene. She's denying a whole bunch of stuff here. And then number 63, I found interesting. 63, 64, 65, and 66. She denies the matter set forth in this request. And by way of further answer, the petitioner, who is Angela, objects to this request as being protected by attorney-client privilege. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So moving on. This is the one that almost made me fall off my chair and spit out my drink. Request for admission number 71. Petitioner, who is Angela, denies the matter set forth in this request. I have never hired another content creator who I won't say his name, and I do not recall making this statement. Request for admission number 80. Petitioner, who is Angela, denies the matter set forth in this request as this was a TLC scripted scene, and the respondent, who is Michael, is acutely aware that this was a TLC scripted scene. And that goes for 81 and 82. So this is all very, very, very interesting to me. So now, moving on. Here we go. This is another one that almost made me fall off my chair. Request for admission 110. Petitioner denies the matter set forth in this request, and by way of further answer, the respondent, who is Michael, would produce multiple reasons why he preferred to sleep on the couch. And then once again, numbers 124 through 126 were TLC scripted scenes. And in number 128, petitioner, who is Angela, denies the matter set forth in this request, and by way of further answer, I have not made any revenue from any appearances in the past 2 to 3 years. Liar, liar, pants on fire. That's all I'm going to say to that. Okay, so moving on. We have, let's see, petitioner admits the matter set forth in this request, and by way of further answer, this request implies to purport some inflated valuation where none exists. So now we're talking about money and finances, and this goes for number 134 and number 135. So, finally, for number 143, petitioner, who is Angela, denies the matter set forth in this request, and by further answer, the petitioner has contacted the respondent, Michael, via telephone device once for the sole purpose of his step-granddaughter asking to speak to her step-grandfather, as her tender age would not lend understanding to her of his abandonment of our family. And as you guys can see, this was dated March 20th. So I am probably going to dedicate maybe a whole video to this. I'm going to do lots of research. There was other motions, that's the word I'm looking for, motions that were filed back and forth between the attorneys. The case is starting to pick up speed. Okay, so I will give you guys all the updates. So stay tuned. Moving on to something positive. Anna. You guys remember Anna and Marcel. Well, Anna's son is going off to the Navy. Gino officially left for Navy boot camp Wednesday. We got to watch him swear in and then spend time at the airport before he had to go through security. I'm so proud of him. I apologize for not posting much lately. I've been pretty emotional about him leaving, plus squeezing in as much time possible with him as before he left. I'm going to miss him so much. The next time we see him, he will be a sailor. Congratulations, Anna. And thank you, Gino, for your service. Something else positive. Minnie David. Look at this baby. Isn't she so stinking cute? And I'm sorry. She looks like she fell out of David's butt. She is his mini-me big time. This is Aunt Lo holding the mini David. She is beautiful. I want to squeeze those cheeks. I'm enjoying the updates from them. Another positive thing, Annie and David posted an update that they were safe. There were major earthquakes in Thailand a couple of days ago. 7.7, guys, with an aftershock of 6.4. That is fucking nuts. But they're fine. They're safe. The family's fine. Family's safe. Yes, they do. They have the same hairline. yes, they do. So, yeah, a little bit positivity, So we have baby David and Armando's pets. Okay, because there is nothing more cute and positive than seeing some pets. Okay, because I don't know, you guys, with all of the Jasmine, Gino, Rob, Sophie drama going on. If you guys watch Love After Lockup, you remember the scene with Queen in the back of the car with Amber, and she was like, yeah, well, that's what I've been feeling like lately. Thank you so much, guys, for watching me. Keep your eye out for new content. Hot tea's going to be spilled in the next couple of days. Gonna have a special guest on. So make sure you have your notifications on, even though I know they suck. I mean, YouTube is glitchy and they suck in many, many ways. And I hope I don't get struck by the YouTube robot for saying that, but it's true. I usually put up to my stories on Instagram when I'm going to go live and stuff, and when I have new stuff uploaded. So if you follow me on IG, keep an eye on my stories. Otherwise, just keep your notifications on. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I love you guys, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. See you next time. Bye, everyone.